This is Dal Houston, and I want to welcome you to my YouTube channel. My videos address how to change your circumstances in life, whether they be financial, personal, social, or just life in general. I know there are hundreds, if not thousands, of similar sites. With that said, for better or worse, I just see the world differently than others, and I can tell you without any hesitancy that you will find thoughts, strategies, and ideas here you won't find anywhere else. It is my sincere hope you will find the content interesting and enjoyable. Thank you. Hey guys, Dal here today. Hey, I'm going to do kind of a follow-up to yesterday's video on shortcuts or hacks, how to change your behavior by looking at others. Now, this isn't totally related. Understand my daily thoughts are just what I've got on my mind that day. Probably in the larger context of things, this is its own topic, and may not be just a perfect follow-up to it, but it is. Be that what it may, it's going to be that today. Yesterday, I was talking about finding behaviors in yourself that you know are not productive, helpful, working, however you want to describe it. Then looking out amongst the public and finding those behaviors in others. And without judging that person, just see how ugly, unproductive, worthless those thoughts and behaviors are, okay? And that sometimes by seeing it in others, we can burn that into our psychic. Okay. And one of the things I touched on was I said, you know, my wife, and not to throw my wife under the bus because I'm not here, I'm just using her response to my way of thinking, was that I need to find good behaviors in others. And don't look in the negative, but look in the others. And again, that not a bad thought, not a bad thought. And if such a thing exists, that is good, okay? Now here's the problem. If you're coming from a place where, okay, I've been this way, whatever it is, standing in your way, I'm shy, I'm quiet, I'm poor, I'm a beta, run over a lot. I'm a yes man. I you know, and that's not what I want to be. That when you've made that decision to change, you say, hey, you know, this ain't working for me. It ain't working for me. All of a sudden, once you start knocking down a belief or two, and I don't mean it takes many, and it doesn't even take it consciously, all of a sudden, a lot of things look attractive to you. I remember when I gave up farming. Oh, well, I had to give up farming. I went broke at 27. And I went to school, I went to college, really not so much to go to college at that point, but to chase girls. I had to chase girls because I'd been focused on farming. But another topic altogether as well. I had looked through the particular majors, and yeah, there was a few that didn't sound good, but all of a sudden the whole world was open to me. Well, this looks good, that looks good. I remember applying at a temporary job agency, and it said, what would you like to do? I got in, there must have been a couple of pages, single space, 2 or 3 columns per page of jobs. You know, do you want to paint, you know, a house? Do you want to be a store clerk? Do you want to work in the airline industry? You know, at that point in time, I'd never thought about anything else because that's who I had been. I had been a farmer. And all of a sudden, like, well, you know, I never put much thought into what am I but this, and everything sounded good. So if you go on that line of thinking, thinking, well, everything sounds good, then you're going to find, and it's not a bad thing necessarily, but you're going to find so much material. Oh, I want to be this, I want to be that, or I'm going to borrow this from this person, this from this person. To me, logically, and I'm not saying everybody has to do this, but for me, I had to find out first what I was not and get that very clear and where I was not going. Because if you're all of a sudden looking out there and everything is open, everything's open. Well, I could own a hotel. I could buy a hotel. I could build a hotel. I could run a hotel. I didn't know why I'm saying that. I'm driving by a hotel row here in my hometown. Or I could open a gas station. I could build a gas station. I could work at a gas station. Well, I don't know. Back then I didn't have an education, so what the hell am I going to do? Everything was open. And somehow, somewhere, you've got to start narrowing that field for who you really are. Because once those beliefs, you start challenging those beliefs and saying, gee, I thought this was who I was, and it's not. Well, then, if that's not who I am, then if that's not who I was, then just who in the hell am I? Okay? Maybe that's a good way to look at it. And when you don't know who you are, and there's nothing wrong with that, people make fun of it. I've got some videos out there in the 80s. I used to say I've lost myself, and I'd say, well, where in the hell did they lose themselves at? Well, let's go back. Did they lose themselves at the mall? Did they lose themselves going down the highway? Did they lose themselves? Anyway, I'm making fun of it. But it is a legitimate question, and that is, if you've been this person for however old you are, 20, 30, 40 years, 50 years, 60, 70, I don't care. And all of a sudden you start challenging those beliefs and those behaviors in yourself. And you say, okay, I don't like that. I don't like this in me. I don't like the way I think about money. I don't like the way I think about me in relations to the opposite sex. I don't like the way I think of myself as being an employee or employer, socially, whatever it is, religiously, whatever. When you start challenging those, again, you're going to say, oh, I want to be this or I want to be that. But you ultimately have to find what you think you are. And I'm not saying it's just a straight line, a straight black and white line. You cross over it, it's one thing, it's on the other line, it's something else. It's just be ultimately a combination of things. But sometimes you first have to say, this is what I know I am not. Okay, I give up my belief. I know I am not a farmer anymore. I know I am not going to be somebody who's pushed over all the time, maybe socially or in a relationship. That's who I know I am not going to be. Now, what do I replace it with? What really am I? And it's not just borrowing something from somebody at that point in time and plugging it into your equation like you would a computer program. It's got to match with who you really are, deep down in your soul. It's not like I said, it's not like you just say, oh, okay, well, I just need to put a new computer program in this computer so it'll run these equations. No. It's simple in a computer. It may be even as simple in an office. But when it's you personally, it's still got to match your overall personality, which you probably, most people, don't know. It took me the majority of my life to find out who I might really be, and God help me, I hate to say this, but I'm finding new facets of my life all the time, facets that I didn't know existed a month ago, a week ago. That's a good thing, though. That's a good thing. Guys, I'm getting close to the office, so I'm going to have to go. I hope you enjoyed it. Like I said, it's not the perfect follow-up for yesterday's video on the shortcut hacks, but it is related, and hopefully we'll go in a little more depth into why I view it that way, and why you oftentimes got to find that negative first and get rid of the negative. Once you got rid of the negative, start stuff opening up, and you can start beginning to expand that and saying, okay, I know I'm not this. What am I? And start, well, I like this, but I don't like that, and put it all together. Guys, I hope you enjoyed it. Talk to you later.